Dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. A warm welcome to you all on the second round of the very first inter-school English debate competition organized by Bangladesh Television Chattogram Center. The purpose of debating is to express yourself clearly to those around you using persuasive arguments. It aims to help you refine and hone your ideas to be more acceptable to those listening. It is a formal academic competition in which students argue both sides of a given topic. It encourages students to do more critical thinking, and through this, they can discard those concepts and theories that doesn't make sense and accept the ones that are more logical. And I really hope the debaters here today are prepared to make their arguments based on logic. Dear audience, on that very good note, I, your host, prapanti chakrabarti, would love to invite you all to come along and enjoy our very lively debate competition participated by two competed teams. Today, the selected motion for the debate competition is Public awareness is the main effective approach in health protection. The team for the motion belongs to Cantonment English School and College. The team against the motion belongs to Navy Anchorage School and College, Chattogram. Speakers for the motion are Marzia Jobin, Ithika Sadiq Chaudhary, Nanjiba Ibnath. Speakers against the motion are Nehreen Jannat, Fahim Shahryar Afridi, Sanjida Jahan. The honorable adjudicators of today's session are Abdullah Muhammad Shukrana, President, Bangladesh Debate Federation; Nabila Nusrat, Lecturer, Institute of Marine Sciences, University of Chittagong; Shihab Jihan Onik, Project Manager, Duchi Wale Academy. The topics on which our honorable judges are going to assign marks in the constructive round are Presentation 5, Language and Pronunciation 10, Presentation of Theory and Information 15, Argumentation and Rebuttal 10. The topics on which our honorable judges are going to assign marks in the rebuttal round are Presentation 5, Language and Pronunciation 5, Argumentation and Rebuttal 20. Dear viewers, now we would love to introduce our honorable moderator of today's program who will be conducting the entire competition and announce the results at the end. The honorable moderator of today's competition is Tanvir Shahryar Rahman, CEO, Rankon. Now, I would most humbly like to request you, sir, to come up on the stage and take your seat. Before we start the debate, let me inform you about the order and time allocation of each debater. Each debater will get 5 minutes to present his or her speech. An alarming bell will ring on the 4th minute, and the final bell will ring on the 5th minute. In the rebuttal round, both the team leaders will get 2 minutes each. Alarming bell will ring on 1.5 minutes, and the final bell will ring on the 2nd minute. Dear viewers, from now onwards, you can not only watch us on your television set, but also on Facebook and YouTube. Tune in on facebook.com/btpchattogram and www.youtube.com/@btpchattogram. Now, I most humbly would like to request our honorable moderator to preside over the competition and start the debate.
Thank you very much. You already have heard the topic of today's debate is public awareness is the main effective approach in health protection. So we already have, for the motion of today's debate, Cantonment English School and College, Chattogram. And we have Manziva Jebin, Ittika Sadiq Chaudhary, and Nanziva Ibrat as debaters for the motion. And we have Navy Anchorage School and College, Chittagong, against the motion, and we have Nehreen Jannat, Fahima Shahryar Afridi, Sanjida Jahan as debaters for against the motion. So first, I would like to call Marzina Zebin for the motion to present her speech.
The main aim of ensuring health protection is to build up a safe and healthy nation with overall physical and sound mental health. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for providing me the floor. Honorable Moderator, respected judges, and everyone present here today, a very good day to you all. The motion raised today states that public awareness is the main effective approach in the health protection. For absolute logical reasons and arguments, today me and my team stand in total support of the motion. Honorable Moderator, now let me grab your attention to the key points of today's motion that are health protection, public awareness, and main effective approach. Let me go straight to the characterizations. What do we mean by actually health? A state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being rather than the mere absence of disease or infirmity is what we call health. Now, by health protection, we mean a concept of preventing disease or promoting health through the organized efforts of a society. Understand one thing over here, the organized efforts of a society is what we mean public awareness. Public awareness is public's level of understanding about importance and implications of a particular program. Public awareness is generated from a level of mass engagement having root from self-consciousness. Now, what do you actually mean by main effective approach? Among numerous approaches there to address human protection, we mean public awareness to be the main and most impactful or effective approach in order to for health protection. We believe this motion should take place in the context of Bangladesh as health protection is a serious issue in our country. Now for the arguments, we have 4 arguments for today's debate. Number 1, enrootment of public health awareness from childhood. Number 2, inclusion of safety mechanism in public awareness. Number 3, role of public awareness in breaking down the narratives. And number 4, impact of awareness on government to make alterations in the system. As the first speaker, I will be giving you proper reasoning about the debate. My second speaker will come up and establish our last 2 arguments, and our third speaker will come up and sum up this entire debate and show you why public awareness is the main effective approach for health protection. Now, let me explain you about the sectors concerned with health protection, that are infectious disease, infant mortality, maternal mortality, personal hygiene, life expectancy, then mental stability, and lastly, life safety. Now, how actually public awareness spreads or works in our world? Public awareness programs are initiated by both government and non-government organizations in forms of drama, seminars, cartoons, slogans, animations, etc. How public awareness actually approaches health protection through intervention mechanism. First of all, we identify various kinds of problems in our world. Then we know about the causes and what are the reasons for those particular problems. Third of all, we acquire different kinds of knowledge about the consequences of the particular problem. And fourthly, we start planning for awareness as a kind of solution. Now, understand one thing at how actually health awareness or maintaining health hygiene rules start from a very beginning stage, that is our childhood. After a child is born in a family, he follows the systems of health hygiene taught by his parents. That is to say, for example, brushing his own teeth, then washing hands regularly. These are all taught by the parents. That is to say, the parents are at first self-conscious and aware about these kind of things. In the past, people weren't aware about the symptoms of a particular disease. That is to say, they were ignorant about those kinds of disease. That lead to, as a report from the timeline of 1971 to 2013, diarrhea killed about 45,000 children annually in Bangladesh. Those were in the past. But as the public awareness programs, campaigns, etc. started increasing rapidly in the present year, we can see the amount of those kind of deadly diseases cases have been reduced to a great extent. Now, our personal hygiene rules from micro level or personal level actually start developing when we are aware about those particular things, that is self-consciousness about our surroundings, and that plays a huge impact on a lifestyle of a particular person. Because see how, when a person leads his life maintaining different kinds of health hygiene rules and regulations, and lives in a sound environment, in the long run, he will be safe from any sort of health complications. That is to say, they also get aware about some genetical diseases like diabetes, or even some deadly diseases like lung cancer or kidney cancer. That is to say, they start to be aware about the things and start acquiring knowledge that this kind of things actually depends on how I lead my particular life. That is, when I start leading my life in such a way, minimized way, way, and in the long run, even if this kind of things genetically occurs to me, we identify those symptoms at the very beginning, take regular checkups and all, and then even if those kind of things occur, I am aware about all this, and these are not life threatening as much as before, and that is to say this kind of life-threatening things stay at a tolerable rate. Now, public awareness is to say is the core of this kind of health protections. That is why we are saying that public awareness is the main effective approach in this kind of health protections in our particular country. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Marzia Zabin, for your strong remarks. May I call upon Nehrin Zannat against the motion?
We cannot be mere consumers of good governance. We must be the participants. We must be the co-creators. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor today. The member of the favored team claims that public awareness is not the main effective approach in health protection. Indeed, it is the maintenance of proper lifestyle to be the main effective approach in health protection. I would like to open today's debate with a quick deconstruction of the topic, which breaks into two distinct parts, that is public awareness and the main effective approach in health protection. Public awareness is the public's level of understanding about the importance and implications of certain program or an activity. Raising public awareness is not the same as the telling the public what to do. It's not about explaining issues, its advantages, disadvantages, or consequences. It's only about public showcase and completely leaving the topic upon the individuals or the people so that they can make their own decisions. Public awareness makes it harder to clear and clarify how important it is for a strategy to be related to task, goal, and learner's particular view. It creates no action, generates backlash, and the efficacy of health awareness remains unclear. Hence, we need proper lifestyle, economic solvency, government's cooperation, and regulatory policy mainly for health protection. Health protection involves multiple factors being individual choices such as environmental conditions, socioeconomic status, etc. Relying solely on public awareness oversimplifies the multi-faced nature of health protection. Honorable Moderator, if today our people are well enough educated, then they are actually eligible to know what's good for them and what's bad for them. As a consequence, we don't need to rely on public awareness for our health insurance. We can remark that various kinds of posters regarding smoking and tobaccos are posted on the walls of institutions, local properties, etc. But can we actually assure that how many people are being rectified by those hangings? Despite of this so-called awareness creation, people are still smoking. In the present statistics, we can see that at present, Bangladesh is ranked among the 7th most top country in regarding smoking. Honorable Moderator, let's see how a policy implementation works and how a vaccination program occurs. Number one, when there is any disease or epidemic, the very first initiative that has to be taken is the development of vaccine. It requires the steps of preliminary stages of tests and requires clinical trials, by which we can be sure that how much effective the vaccine would be. Number second, the approval step. In this step, we have to see how much efficient the medical security is ensured of the vaccine, because as a government, we are concerned how much regulatory influence it will have on my mass people. For that medical security check, we need that approval from the government body so that we can apply the vaccine through the approval process in a clinical way. Number third, the process of vaccine development. In the development process of vaccine, the vaccine is tested in a very short amount, but when it comes to the application of the vaccine, first we have to ensure that we have that amount of production in our stock for which we have to produce. Number four, the distribution step. It is to be ensured that equalities are maintained to provide vaccine equally and to maintain equity among all the mass people so that everyone enjoys the facility of getting vaccine, for which distribution is an inevitable number of process. Number five, we have to create some infrastructure. We have to create the centers of vaccines so that people find it easy by going into the infrastructural centers so that there can be enough doctors, enough researchers, enough services so that they can provide advices to the mass people while taking the vaccinations. And Honorable Moderator, number six process includes the public engagement. That is, it is to be ensured that in my vaccine centers, mass people are interested to enroll for it. because it's inevitable that our vaccines can be injected to their bodies and health protection can be maintained, which is the main topic of our today's debate. Honorable Moderator, from the upper discussion we can see that public engagement that the proposition is trying to propose today is the number 6 and the last process of whole policy implementation. But we have to remember that all the 5 steps we had taken before public engagement was huge process with a lot more narrative push, with a lot more effort, and with a lot more importance, so that it can be assured that we have those type of steps, mediocres and metrics in our hands, so that we can prepare our people ready to take the vaccines and ensure health protection. Comparing to the 5 steps, we cannot compare a small minute step, which is public engagement, because it's the lastest step. Public awareness being the holder of less importance and unassurity, we strongly propose that it can never be the main effective approach in health protection. So how can you claim that public awareness is the main effective approach in health protection? By keeping this question, I would like to conclude my speech here. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Now, may I call upon from Cantonment English School, Ittihas Sadiq Chowdhury.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor in today's debate. The motion upheld in today's debate is public awareness is the main effective approach in health protection. Today, and my first speaker has already established our stand in favor of public awareness. Now, today, I, as the second speaker, will show you comparatives as to why public awareness is the core which is being neglected by our opposition side. Now, first of all, when my opposition leader, first of all, came up and told and proposed good awareness to be an alternate in their world, let me say, when they say that public awareness is only a showcase and there leads no action, let me make it clear that when people are socially aware, when they lead it to a point of mass engagement, that is when people get down to the streets and innovate social movement. Now, getting to the second point, when they say regulatory policy about that the good governance is initiating, let me say one point, that when you see that mass people is engaging with the policy or saying that no, what you're giving me is wrong, only then the government thinks that what I'm giving is wrong and then goes ahead to amend that thing. And now moving to my speech today, my first speaker has already made it clear that health does not only remain limited to the physical arena, but also mental arena. Now see, mental and physical health deterioration occurs because of either unhygienic environment or chaotic environment around you. Now see, this both environment prevails around those people who belong to a comparatively lower socioeconomic status. And what is the reason for being in them status? Because they are either unemployed or no education. Now in our country, the scenario is like that in our country, most people do not receive education, not because they lack resources, but because they're not essentially aware about the social importance of receiving education. See, now this lack of education leads them to a position where their lifestyle gets hampered. As a result, their health protection becomes obstructed. In this vicious cycle continues up and until people get socially aware. When a person gets socially aware and spread it to other people in the society, the people start thinking that if I receive good education, then I will be able to adapt a lifestyle for myself and my surroundings, so that in the long run, I do not get any deadly diseases, or that will reduce my life expectancy. Now moving to the second point, on my moderator will see that our society, to some extent, is patriarchal. Because of its, women always get sometimes less preference in our world. Now, what we see is that discussions of female hygiene is greatly stigmatized in our society, even considered a taboo. Let me talk about menstruations. What do we see in menstruation? In case of menstruations, girls are not even aware about it up until it happens with them. Now, when a girl doesn't even know about what are the time frames to change a sanitary pad, she is subjected to various diseases. When she is subjected to this type of diseases, she doesn't even know that she is undergoing a disease and that she needs to seek medical help. So in this case, she herself needs to be herself aware, and only then she can go and treat herself. Same thing about pregnant women. We see in our country, Bangladesh, in an average year, 1,000 to 1,200 pregnant women die because of preeclampsia, which increases our maternal and child mortality rate. In this case, if the people in the society would have been aware that if I put societal or family pressure on a pregnant woman, she will be suffering from hypertension and thus her health risk would increase greatly, I could easily solve these problems. Here, good governance cannot do this, because it is impossible for a government to come in handy in each and every family and ensure if that woman is being subjected to such type of assaults, such type of implications. Now, STDs or STIs are a thing completely tabooed in our society. We even feel hesitant to discuss about such topics. Each and every people are socially aware. They start thinking that these are the topics that need to be discussed for the welfare of of myself and the persons around me. Now, when we talk about when our opposition team is talking about good governance, now let me put up this argument. See, health sector in Bangladesh is greatly accessible, but see what the problem is here, that the resource disbursement from the budget allocation in health sector currently is only 5.34%, which is very less. Now, what happens here is that because of this less budget allocation, there occurs an irrational disbursement of resources in different health sectors like Medicare, infrastructural facilities, etc. What happens then is that the vulnerable community, the low-income generating people, fall short of opportunities to address issues like where they fall short of opportunities of places to seek medical help because the prices are high and they cannot even afford it. See, now, when people are getting aware that what is happening around me, if I am being subjected to such irrational facilities, is it adequate for me? People start thinking about it rationally and spread it to the other people as well. This builds a constructive criticism in my society, and then only the government comes in and this constructive criticism from the public forces the government to come and amend the shortcomings in my healthcare system. So what means that no matter how much my opposition comes and says that good governance is the core to health protection, what we are seeing again and again that no matter how much good of a governance you have in your world, you cannot ensure health protection up and until each and every people in the micro levels are aware. And with that, I would like to conclude my speech saying that public awareness is definitely the core in ensuring health protection. Thank you.
Now, may I call upon from Navy Anchorage School and College, Chattogram, Fahim Shahriar Afridi.
Public awareness is useless unless a standard lifestyle is ensured. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the podium to speak. Let's have a quick discussion what side proposition said in the last 10 minutes. They think that public awareness helps to improve people's outlook. But Honorable Moderator, how can a small, feeble event like awareness can change people's mind within a twist? And secondly, these people have a conservative ideology which cannot be shattered easily. And this public awareness actually do not change the people's outlook. They think that education policy, by these things, public awareness is raised. But Honorable Moderator, public awareness is the last step of health protection. Before it, it has mainly 5 steps. Problem identify, research ground, approving medicines, and all these steps. So, compared to public awareness, all the preliminary steps which require enough force, enough narrative, enough push, how can they compare with the 5 steps and the last step? And thirdly, they think that public awareness make people conscious. But Honorable Moderator, from our side, we will make people more conscious by ensuring proper lifestyle from 4 sectors, which I'll be explaining in my speech. But a question remains, are the people actually in a situation to be publicly aware with limited education and limited facility? The main characters of our today's debate are those people who have limited knowledge about health protection, marginalized community, and a rural people. The world of these marginalized people is characterized by 3 phases. 1, limited consciousness. 2, gloomy lifestyle. And 3, lack of accessing resources. Honorable Moderator, Bangladesh Poverty Watch Report 2022 says 35 million people are under the shackles of poverty. So falling to the million-dollar question of the debate, what are we supporting as a main and effective approach? The answer is ensuring standard lifestyle. A standard lifestyle revolves around economic solvency where people can meet the both ends. A life where knowledge is welcome, denying myths and stereotypes, where it's a ground of policy is implemented under the umbrella of law, ensuring access to enough resources and education. In order to ensure a standard lifestyle, we are setting 4 parameters. 1, economic solvency. 2, education. 3, lawmaking. And 4, policy implementation. Number 1, economic solvency. Economic solvency refers to the development of finance of an individual. An individual who aspires to fight for standard lifestyle must have the solvency of economy. But as a matter of sorrow, DhakaTribunes.com says 35 million people lives under financial solvency. Honorable Moderator, in Bangladesh, the cost of health accessories is sky high. It's close to unaffordable for the poor people. NCBI.com says Bangladeshi people spend 1/3 of their livelihood in medical facility. In 2020, a report showed that per capita health expenditure of a person in Bangladesh is $51, where a farmer earns $83.5. Question to the proposition, will a farmer buy livelihood or spend in health protection? Honorable Moderator, a farmer or a small worker in a factory can bring 0 value by just being aware. In our country, the medical expenditure is as high as spending 1 minute in the lift of Burj Khalifa. When the medical cost is so high, what the public awareness will do. Number 2, ensuring quality education. Honorable Moderator, in 2019, 30 million people were at adult illiteracy rate. Precisely, only 38% women are literate and the rest sediment below the level of illiteracy. Health protection is a sensitive issue. It becomes more serious when it comes to menstruation and sanitary protection for female. UNICEF says 47% female teenagers in Bangladesh did not know about menstrual cycle before their first encounter. The dailystar.net says 80% of menstruating female do not use sanitary napkins. Honorable Moderator, health protection is not something which can be easily injected inside people's minds. So public awareness, poster, etc. are not a strong medium to reflect this sensitive issue. On the contrary, 77.7% students, which are a majority of the population, attends the primary education. Thus, advocating health protection in the education would be a better way than miking in vain of public awareness. Number 3, lawmaking. The fundamental of law, the fundamental fallacy of law are two. 1, equality, and 2, supremacy. Law stands as the pillar to control human acts with strictness, which contradicts human values and principles. On the other, public awareness programs are such events which are like take it if you like it or else ignore. It's a voluntary event which cannot be imposed as a compulsory basis because public awareness is voluntary but lawmaking is mandatory. Number 4, policy implementation. It's an interesting example. Let's consider a scenario. When a smoker comes to a no smoking area, why does the smoker refrain from smoking? Is it because he saw a poster of public awareness? No, Honorable Speaker. It is because the CCTV camera around him, which is surveillancing the area, which is a part of policy implementation. The main conclusion of the debate is public awareness is the last stage of the process of health protection. But compared to that, ensuring proper lifestyle by solvency, education, law, and policy implementation is a far, far, far more superior approach. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you, Honorable Judges. Thank you, everyone.
Now it's time to call the team leader, Nanziba Ibnat from Cantonment English School and College.
Thank you, my honorable moderator, for presenting me the floor in today's debate. The debate is in run, and today we strongly believe that public awareness is the main effective approach in health protection. First of all, I'd like to address the arguments and the points that were presented by the first speaker from opposition bench. She talked about good governance. She also told that public awareness creates no action, then socioeconomic status and environmental factor for protection of health, and the posters that are hanged, but people are showing ignorant attitude towards it. Now, the refutation that comes up from our case, and my previous speakers have already explained, I'd like to bring into sight the problem and the refutations. First of all, see, good governance. You are talking about the insurance of good governance. How can the good governance be ensured? Then the second speaker from the opponent have also talked about policy implementation. Who will implement the policy? Definitely people. And if the people are not aware, they do not realize the importance of their health themselves, then how can they actually implement the policy? The policy is a general banner which is coming after, which is coming because of the needs of the people. And if the people are not themselves aware about their own needs, their own health, they have to understand the value of their health. They have to implement, first of all, in their own mindset that my health is my wealth. After that, they will implement the policy and they will understand why the policy is actually formulated. It's for my good, the conscious development. My first speaker have come up and talked about the hygiene. See, the basic thing for health protection is hygiene. When you are not maintaining your hygiene, cleanliness, you are growing up the risk of many diseases day by day. Now, my learned opponent, see, when you are implementing any policy, you are telling that people to not to smoke, not to do alcohol and all this stuff. But, honorable moderator, if people are not, people will just take it as an instruction, but the importance of it has to be realized from their family or society. And my first speaker and second speaker were talking about this by saying that in the family and the society, the chain of public awareness will make them realize that after a children is born, he doesn't know why hygiene has to be maintained, why cleanliness has to be maintained. A girl, for the first time when she is experiencing the menstruation, and also the second speaker from the opponent have talked that many of the women in Bangladesh didn't even know about the menstrual cycle. Now, see, if they are not knowing it, they don't actually understand the policy until they are made to understand that. And the general codes of the policy or the laws, they will not understand it until a person like their family, parents, or society is making them
understand them one, and after their understanding they are deciding that will I follow this or not. That is when awareness is being the core over here. Honorable moderator, they have also talked about, first speaker from the opponent have talked about lack of facilities, and the vaccination centers should be imported, so there should be vaccination sectors so that people can come and have the facilities. Now you have established vaccination facilities, but vaccination facilities and the institutions for vaccination. But will people go there if they do not have the awareness? If people don't know that if I take that vaccine, it will actually minimize the detrimental effects on my health, they will not do it until they realize the importance of it. And that is when we say that from the child initial stage, when children are made to be aware about the importance of their health, then only they will go for the policy implementation. Then that's when the second speaker's main argument that he was saying again and again, but public awareness comes last. No, public awareness comes first. If you do not have awareness, then policy implementation, law making, and all other the education implementation, and also the another factor, economic solvency that you are talking about. I will come on this. Then, my honorable moderator, the second speaker from the opponent have given some of the arguments that there are main 5 steps of public awareness. Among them, problem identification to solution. There is a chart that he mentioned about. My first speaker was talking about these things. She told in public awareness what happens is that in our mechanism, first of all, we identify the problems. The problems are existing. The policies are also existing, but people are not abiding by that. Why is people not being abiding by that? Because people are not realizing the importance. So that's why that when we say that sense of responsibility and sense of self-requirement, when they are understanding that effect of a sound mind lives in a sound body. Here, the mental stability and the social stability and physical stability comes together when the public awareness is promoted to the highest esteem, and people have a supportive mindset that no, if if a woman is pregnant, if if a girl is suffering from menstruation, we should actually educate her on those topics, and then she will follow the health precaution, which will ensure the health protection to the highest esteem. And that's when we say that today, public awareness is the main effective approach in health protection. Thank you.
Now, from the Navy School and College, may I call upon the team leader, Sanjida Jahan.
In today's session, we have the motion that public awareness is the main effective approach in health protection, and for all the logical reasons, I'm standing against the motion. Okay, coming to our dear opponents. You were saying public awareness linked directly to people. Linking people is not the criteria of the debate in today's session. We are looking for the solution to actually address the health protection. Honorable moderator, public awareness is applicable for those who are ready for it. It includes knowledge, education, economical solvency. Living in third world countries like the Bangladesh, how can we claim literacy in less literacy? How can we claim public to be more aware without having capital solvency, without having education? Will public awareness work out here? My teammates have already clarified the subject, our proposition with logical perspective in logical terms. Now, I will be carrying out more from my position. When we consider public awareness, we need to look after its arrangements. Then we need to consider public awareness, its education, information, and most importantly, economical propaganda. We are saying for health protection, the most important and effective approach is the maintenance of standard lifestyle. For that, we need economical solvency, we need appropriate education. Let's get it through some incidents. Well, during cyclone period, public awareness is made for letting people know the do's and don'ts and to make them aware of the situation. But still, many people do not move to shelter places despite being aware because they care about their resources way more than their life because they do not have that sufficient knowledge. So, they do not move to shelter places despite being aware, caring less about their health. And if they had a better lifestyle, if they had a better established shelter, like the people in the established zone, they wouldn't actually have to bother this much. Second incident goes for myth culture. Awareness tries but cannot actually work to deal out with myth culture, but education actually can. It can free people from some misconceptions, further health protection, and proper understanding, proper knowledge can take them to actual health protection centers. And we are debating in this sector. Proper healthy lifestyle can ensure our well-protected health. That's the motion of our debate we are claiming from our side. Again, public awareness needs proper arrangement, without which it is actually never fruitful. It is nothing without capital, labor, government initiatives. Honorable moderator, actually regulatory policy is much more effective than public awareness, and we'll get this from some differences in between. First of all, regulatory policies are enforceable by law and backed by penalties for the non-compliance, as like our second speaker already said. Regulatory policy are enforceable by law. The situation goes for from public awareness, we all know smoking kills, but still smokers smoke all around, caring less about their health. But in the reserved secured zones, what happens there? They are bound to avoid smoking for the maintenance of policy, of course. Next, regulatory policy is mandatory, while as public awareness is voluntary. We can see during the COVID period, when it is said in the secured zones, wash hands before enter, wear mask before enter, and people are bound to maintain this for the maintenance of policy. But again, all these are health protective measures that are informed to people in public awareness, and people do neglect, because in public awareness, they have the choice whether they're gonna adopt it or not, and they have to have the proper information, proper knowledge and education for the maintenance of public awareness. For the acceptance of it, they are neglecting this because of lack of proper education, and they do not actually have their food to eat. That how can they actually bother about their health? Honorable moderator, the more the country is economically solvent, the more its health condition is better. Well, for example, the average life expectancy in the United States is 78.6 years, while in Ethiopia it is only 66.1 years. The source is World Bank. According to World Health Organization, 1 in 3 children under the age of 5 in the developing countries is stunted, and 1 in 9 is completely wasted. What's the reason? The reason is economical solvency, of course. The HIV prevalence is higher in developing countries and then in the developed countries. That means in this session, we can also see the economical solvency is resulting in better health condition. The HIV prevalence in Swaziland is 26%, while in the United States, it is only 0.4%. From these, we can sense the importance of economical solvency in our health. Actually, honorable moderator, the main fact is when people are underprivileged, when they do not have their food to eat, when they do not have their basic rights fulfilled, they won't be convinced by some cheap awareness programs. They need proper education, they need economical solvency for that. We better not be talking about a group of upper class people. We are here talking indeed about the whole people. Like the second speaker of our opposition has said about the maternity rate. Okay, let's look up on the example there. 71% birth take place at Bangladesh in home, and from that 40% is actually death and at risk. So how can tough diseases, tough situation be covered by your public awareness? We need specialist doctors, we need specialist hospitals for the tough situations. And for that, most importantly, we need money. We need economical solvency. And if we talk about prevention, of course, proper lifestyle maintenance is a must there. Well, systematic and properly public awareness arranged can be effective to some extent, but is definitely not the main one that are proposing we from our side. Thank you, honorable moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Now we will start with the rebuttal phase, and I will call Nanziva Ibnath for her speech.
Thank you, my honorable moderator, for presenting me the floor once again. My learned opponent has brought out 2 points very bigly, again and again. That is better lifestyle, standard lifestyle, and lack of resources. And they have also talked about law enforcement. See, public awareness gives you a drive that when after ensuring my proper hygiene, it's not enough. Public awareness gives you such a mindset that when I'm living in a hygienic environment, I'm still running a risk. If my surroundings are not clean, if my surrounding environment is not clean, if I come with the contact with the person who are living in slum areas, in our day-to-day life, we come in contact with the person like who live in slum areas. So public awareness gives you a drive and develops a humanity and sense of responsibility that my second speaker was talking about. Is that then you are aware that not me getting the privilege is enough. You talked about the underprivileged people. How? See, in our world, the public awareness will solve this problem of the underprivileged people, because when the influential people or the middle income people will understand that me being hygienic is not enough, my surroundings need to be clean, they will also, the social public awareness will create a social movement that my second speaker was telling, that will make the law function more properly. The law will function more properly. And see, for the underprivileged people, there are medical facilities which they can get at a minimal cost. When public awareness is rooted, then these things will grow up on a broader scale. Okay. Then my learned opponent have also talked about the when people are not getting the how public awareness is actually minimizing the effect of epidemic or pandemic. In case of pandemic, 3 types of people may be shown: confusion strike people, panic stricken people, and ignorant people. In this case, public awareness can actually, 3 classes of people can be molded by public awareness, because when they are aware, they know what to do and how to maintain the health precautions so that they themselves and their family and society all gets protected, and the maximum effects of the mammoth disease is minimized. Thank you, Honorable Moderator.
Now I would like to call Sanjida Jahan for her argument.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor again. My dear opponents, beautiful words can make a fascinating debating atmosphere, but wordless logics can never make it sense as logic. Thank you. Honorable Moderator, in today's session, we were completely defining public awareness as the main effective approach in health protection, while we were establishing the maintenance of standard lifestyle as the root of everything as the main and most important approach in health protection. Well, public awareness is applicable for those who are ready for it. In this world, while the 70% of the total people lies below the national poverty line, how can we talk about public awareness when they do not have that sufficient living, have their food for it? How will they get bothered by their health? First of all, we need to maintain their lifestyle. First of all, we need to upgrade their lifestyle for them to bother about their health. In Bangladesh, 20.5% of the population live below the national poverty line, and the maternity rate lies again below them. Now, from our side, our team has completely talked about the policy implementation, how system works in terms of health protection, the flaws of public awareness to be the most important and effective approach in health protection, and the actual effectiveness of that, various layers of health protection, and the economical propaganda establishment of standard lifestyle above all to be the most important effect. We are talking about the drug addicted people. You are saying that public awareness linked people much more. The drug addicted people do not have that minimum sense to understand public awareness, but they are actually afraid of the government, they're afraid of the policy, and they're bound to maintain the policy. So for them, policy works the best, not the public awareness. And for public awareness, we need specialized treatment, specialized doctors, and the third world countries, they do not have that sufficient doctors, so we need economical solvency to move to the special spaces for our tough diseases. Can public awareness actually cure cancer, lung diseases, and such tough diseases? Of course not. For that, we need specialist treatment, and for that, economical solvency can work more better. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, again. Thank you, everyone. I'm concluding.
We have witnessed an engaging and very thought-provoking debate on the topic whether public awareness is the main effective approach in health protection, where Cantonment English School and College Chattogram and Navy Anchorage School and College Chattogram took part in that debate. It was indeed very thought-provoking, and I really enjoyed thoroughly the debates of Jebin, Ithika, Ivnat, Jannat, Afridi, and Sanjida. The topic, indeed, it was very interesting. If I see the topic, public awareness is the main effective approach in health protection. You see, public awareness itself, very interesting topic, public awareness. And then again, main effective approach. It is also very interesting. Effective approach, and very important. Then again, you see health protection. You cannot ignore health protection. This is also very important. Then when I was hearing your speech, sometimes I was in dilemma. Probably I was thinking that only the public awareness is the most important thing for health protection. And when I was thinking that I was looking into Jannat, Afridi, and Sanjida, I was in a fix. I was thinking probably, we need a better ecosystem. We need something better ecosystem that really can ensure a better healthcare in our country. So actually, we need a pure balance. We need a pure balance where we can really, really ensure a better ecosystem, a better healthcare, a better awareness in our country for better well-being of our people, of 170 million people. Am I right? So, result is already there. We are so quick. So this is what I believe we need to create a pure balance where we will make sure a pure ecosystem of healthcare, a robust healthcare ecosystem, striking the right balance between the awareness and the healthcare system that will ensure a sustainable healthcare in Bangladesh. So result sheet is in my hand, where I can see the winner of this today's debate is Cantonment English School and College. Congratulations to the winner. And the best speaker is none other than Ithika. So congratulations. Ithika from English School and College, Chattogram. So can we have a big hand for Ithika? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.